have a problem with most resolutions like this because it endorses a foreign policy that I don't endorse. And it also does that. It does that by putting demands. So the demands part of this is the part that I object to, not the condemnation of violence. And by doing this, we serve to antagonize. We here today talk about having solidarity with Israel. And others get up and try in their best way to defend the Palestinians and the Arabs. So it's sort of a contest. Should we be pro-Israel or pro-Arab or anti-Israel or anti-Arab? And how are we seen in doing this? And it's pretty important. But I think there's a third option to this that we so often forget about. Why can't we be pro-American? What is in the best interest of the United States? We haven't even heard that yet. I believe that it's in the best interest of the United States not to get into a fight that we don't have the wisdom to figure out. Now, I would like to have neutrality. That's been the tradition for America at least a century ago. To be friends with everybody, trade with everybody, and to be neutral, unless somebody declares war against us, but not to demand that we pick sides. And yet, this is what we're doing. And I think our perceptions are so bad, because it's not intended that we make the problem worse. Obviously, the authors of the resolution, they don't want to make the problem worse. But you have to realize perceptions are pretty important. So the perceptions are, yes, we have solidarity. What is the opposite of solidarity? It's hostility. So if you have solidarity with Israel, then you have hostility to the others. Now, I have a proposal and a suggestion, which I think fits the American tradition, that we should treat both sides equally, but in a different way. Today, we treat both sides equally by giving both sides money and telling them what to do. Not $1 million here or there, not $100 million here or there, but tens of billions of dollars over decades, always trying to buy peace. And my argument is that it generally doesn't work, that there are unintended consequences. These things backfire. They come back to haunt us. So I think we should start off by defunding both sides. I'm just not for giving all this money, because every time there are civilians killed on the Israeli side or civilian killed on the Palestinian side, you can be assured that either our money was used directly or indirectly to do that killing. So we are, in a way, an accomplice on all this because we fund both sides. So I would argue to consider neutrality, consider friendship with both sides, and not to pretend that we are all so wise that we know exactly with whom to have solidarity with. I think that's basically our problem. We have a policy that is doomed to fail in the Middle East, and it fails slowly and persistently, always drawing us in, always demanding more money. With the Arabs, we can't tell the Arabs to get lost. The Arabs are important. They have a lot of oil over there. I mean, we can't flaunt the Arabs and say, get lost. We must protect our oil. It's called our oil. And at the same time, there's a strong constituency for never offending Israel. I think that you can't buy peace under those circumstances. I think that we can contribute to being more neutral. I think we can contribute a whole lot by being friends with both sides. But I believe the money is wasted. It's spent unwisely, and it actually does not serve the interests of the American people. First, it costs us money. That means that we have to take this money from the American taxpayer. And second, it doesn't achieve the peace that we all hope to have. So therefore, the policy of foreign non-intervention, where the United States is not the bully and doesn't come in and tell everybody exactly what to do and put these demands on. If we didn't do that, yes, we could have some moral authority to condemn violence, but should we not condemn violence equally? Could it be true that only innocent civilians have died on one side and not the other? I don't believe that to be true. I believe that it happens on both sides, and on both sides, they use our money to do this. I urge a no vote on this resolution.